Welcome back. In the previous session, we have discussed about the different types of channel coding strategies, and also we have learned the fundamentals of block codes and various properties and parameters of block codes. We have discussed several parameters like Hamming distance, Hamming weight, minimum distance, minimum weight, and code rate of any code. And we already know that the block code are generated with the help of combinational logic circuit. And any block code can consisting of n number of bits, a k number of message bits at the input, and it is producing n number of bits at the output, and that is called as code word. This is normally the channel encoder is doing. And here we are going to discuss two different types of channel coding strategies which are coming under block codes. There are many number of block codes are available, such as linear block codes, Hamming code, which is a special case of linear block code, and the third is cyclic code. Fourth is Bose-Chaudhry-Hukungum code. Fifth one is Reed-Solomon code, and low density parity check code. These are all the various types of block codes. Among this, linear block code, cyclic code, BCH code, and Reed-Solomon codes are used in the second generation wireless communication systems. Between 2000 to 2010. Whereas the third generation cellular communication system involves convolutional code that is completely different from the block code, which uses the sequential logic circuit to generate the code words. And the fourth generation system and the fifth generation systems are very much focusing about low density parity check codes for generating the code word. And many recent researches are going on in and around the world to explore the possibilities of implementing the low density parity check code with several aspects. But as per your syllabus, we are going to only discuss about linear block code and cyclic codes in this unit. Among the two, first we are going to briefly discuss about linear block codes in this session. Under this session, we are going to discuss how the linear block codes are being generated with the help of generator matrix. And then we are going to discuss about the Hamming matrix, which is used at the receiver side. Generator matrix is used at transmitter side. and the Hamming matrix is used at receiver side. And we are going to determine how the syndrome or how the deficiency in a particular code word or error in a particular code word is determined. And also we are going to discuss about the properties with respect to all these three matrices in brief in this session. Linear block code is a kind of systematic code. It is having a systematic format and it is a linear code, and we already know that linear code means if any of the two code words are added together, that means modulo added together, then the resultant code word will be also one of the code word in the code word table. Moreover, this linear block code is also a block code, so which uses the combinational logic circuit. Which uses the combination logic circuit to generate the code words. So there are few properties are listed to ensure a particular code as linear block code. The first property is that the sum of two code word is also a code word. That means it satisfies the linearity property. That means linear codes. Similarly, the sum of a code word with itself is the zero code word. It is also again satisfying the linearity property. The sum of any code word and an error vector corresponding to an error is not a code word. If suppose if any code word is having some error, then there will be a particular error vector which corresponds to one error is not a code word on the code word table. And at least the error vectors of weight 2 are not deductible in this linear block code. Generally, the linear block code is abbreviated as LBC. As it is systematic code, it is having a systematic format in which k number of message bits and n minus k number of parity bits are arranged in a systematic order and combinedly together forms the code word which consists of n number of bits. And this type of encoding involves n comma k linear block code, where n determines number of bits in the code word and k determines number of bits in the message word. And n comma linear block code is completely defined by n is equal to 2 power k number of binary sequences of length n called as code words. That means in a linear block code, let we assume n comma k linear block code encoder which is supplied with k number of message bits and which is having producing n number of code words. And as the input is consisting of k number of bits, we can have 2 power k number of different possible inputs. And which produces a corresponding output which is also having 2 power k number of distinct code words. Corresponding to the 2 power k possible inputs. Anyhow, if the code word, even though the code word is consisting of n number of bits, the possible distinct code words produced at the output will be 2 power k. So, let me say the total number of possible output in the code word will be 2 power k. So, we can construct a code word table. Let me assume that this is the code word for the corresponding possible set of 2 power k, any one of the possible set of 2 power k inputs. Let me assume it as 1 and it as 2, and similarly we are having 2 power k number of possible output. Each of the term is representing the code word which consists of n number of bits or defined by length n, and we are totally having 2 power k outputs which is equal to capital N. And this n length code word includes parity bits as well as message bits which are arranged in a particular fashion or in a particular way. Either it may be prefixed or it may be suffixed. Let me assume m0, m1 and up to mk minus 1 as the message bit or the message word which consists of k number of bits, and parity bits b0, b1 up to bn minus k minus 1 and n minus k number of parity bits. Totally we can write it as a code word bit. So in this way, in this representation, C naught is B naught is mapped to C naught, B1 is mapped to C1, and Bn minus k minus 1 is mapped to Cn minus k minus 1, and M naught is mapped to Cn minus k, and the last M k minus 1 is mapped to Cn minus 1. Let me assume that the message block Let we assume that the message block is constituted by k number of bits represented by m0, m1 and up to mk minus 1, and the parity block is comprises of n minus k number of parity bits, and also it is called as parity check bits, which can have n minus k number of bits represented by b0, b1 up to bn minus k minus 1. And here the mapping is done in such a way that for if we take Ci is equal to Bi when I varies from 0 to n minus k minus 1, and Mi can be represented from n minus k to n minus 1. So here this Mi has to be represented by, and here it is given in wrong. So this equation can be replaced as Ci is equal to Bi for 0 less than or equal to I less than or equal to n minus k minus 1, and Mi minus n plus k for n minus k to n minus 1. So if you substitute n minus k as the least value, if you substitute I is equal to n minus k here, it will become 0, m0. And the last value n minus 1, then it will become m of k minus 1. So Cn minus 1 will become mk minus 1. Let us assume the block diagram of a linear block encoder which consists of k bit message word at its input and n bit code word at its output, and the code word consisting of two blocks. One is message block and another one is parity block. And the message block of the code word can be directly written from the message word without affecting any of the combinational logic circuit. And the combinational logic circuit is producing the parity codes itself. So the n minus k parity bits are computed from the message bits depending on the prescribed encoding logic, which determines the structure of the code. And these parity bits can be written as a linear sum of k message bits to show its dependency on the message bits. So I am taking the ith parity bit. I am considering this as Bi, which can be written as a linear sum of message bits, which is weighted by a coefficient P0i, P1i and up to Pk minus 1i. So the linear sum can be written as P0i into M0 plus P1i into M1 plus Pk minus 1i into Mk minus 1. So cumulatively we can write this as summation of j is equal to 0 to k minus 1 Pji into Mj, where I represents here is from I varies from 0 to n minus k minus 1, because we are having only n minus k number of parity bits. And n minus k number of bits is the parity bit. And the coefficient of the above expression can be represented as Pji is equal to 1 if Bi depends on Mj. That is, if ith parity bit is depending on the jth message bit, then it will be denoted as 1, or otherwise the coefficient will be 0. If the message bit and the parity bit does not having any correlation, then the coefficient value will be 0. So let we expand this linear sum for all the values of I from 0 to n minus k minus 1. We can write this as B naught is equal to P00 M0 plus P10 M1 and up to Pk minus 10 into Mk minus 1. And it can be written up to Bn minus k minus 1, and which has been expanded in this fashion. And this all algebraic linear sum and algebraic equations can be simplified into a matrix form in such a way, and all B0 B1 up to Bn minus k minus 1 can be written as a row matrix which will be equal to, here in all the terms, you see the first term all are having m naught. Similarly, the second term all are having m1. Similarly, the third term consists of m2 and up to the last term which consists of mk minus 1. So we can write this as the matrix multiplication of or product matrix of m0 m1 up to mk minus 1 product by p naught naught p naught 1 up to p naught n minus k minus 1, and it will be expanded to the last row as pk minus 1 0 pk minus 1 1 up to pk minus 1 n minus k minus 1. Whereas it can be simply written as this parity bits can be written as B, and the message bits can be written as M, and the whole matrix can be written as the parity check matrix. So the parity check matrix is assumed to have n minus k number of columns and k number of rows. N minus k number of columns and k number of rows, so that we can write the size of the parity matrix as k cross n minus k. The code word can be written as already we have discussed in the previous slides, the code word consists of the message block as well as the parity block. Which can be written as in this manner, and here again it can be written as m0 m1. It can be again separated as m0 m1 and mk minus 1 as the message vector, and the remaining vector can have for n minus k number of rows, it represents the parity block. In that way we can write, instead of this parity block, here we are going to write the parity check matrix, because the product of message bits and the parity check matrix will produce the parity block. As we have discussed earlier, the parity block is generated by the product of the message block with the parity check matrix. And the remaining terms, message blocks, is replicated. For replicating the message vector, we are going to use the identity matrix. And since it is having k number of bits, here we are going to use k cross k identity matrix to replicate the message in the code word. And the entries of the parity check matrix depends on the correlation between the message bit and the parity bit. So the entries of each and every parity, the entries in the parity matrix are represented by either 1 or 0 in such a way that if the value, if the parity bit is having a correlation on the message bit, then it will be represented by 1. If it is not having the correlation, then it is represented by 0. For example, if B naught is having the correlation with M naught, then PG00 will be 1. If suppose B1 and M1 are not having the correlation, then P01 will be entered as 0. This is how the entries of the parity check matrix are filled. And we already know that this parity check matrix can be written as the size of K cross N minus K. So, the combination of parity check matrix and the identity matrix is called as generator matrix. The combination of parity matrix and identity matrix is called as generator matrix. G is equal to combination of P and I. And the parity matrix is of size K cross N minus K, and the identity matrix is of size K cross K. So both are having the same number of rows. So the generator matrix is also having K number of rows, and the parity check matrix is consisting of N minus K number of columns, and identity matrix is consist of K number of columns. So they are combined together. So N minus K plus K, we will have N number of columns at the generator matrix. So the generator matrix is having a size of K cross N and having a rank of K. And simply we can write the code word as C is equal to M into combination of parity and identity matrix of size K cross K, and that combination will be simply called as generator matrix. So the code word will be generated by multiplying the message vector with the generator matrix. The basic property of the linear block code is called as the closure property, in which it describes that if two code words Ci and Cj are corresponding to the message words Mi and Mj, then the modulo 2 sum of Ci and Cj will be expressed as Ci modulo Cj will be equal to Mij modulo 2 addition with Mj of G, because Ci is generated by Mi into generator matrix, and Cj can be written as Mj into generator matrix. For example, if I assuming 3-bit code word, 3-bit message word 001, 000, and up to let we assuming this as M0, M1, M2, and this will be, let I am taking this as the first message word. Similarly, this is second message word, and there will be a corresponding code word. Let I am taking 6,3 code word C0, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, and C3, C4, C5 will be replicated as the message word 000 up to 111. But the parity bits, it depends upon the parity check matrix. So this will generate this code word by multiplying this message word with the generator matrix. Similarly, this one with the generator matrix produces the next code word, and this multiplied by the generator matrix produces the corresponding code word located here. Hence, if Ci is produced by ith code word in the code word table is produced by the ith message word multiplied by G, and jth code word is produced by multiplying mj and g. Then this can be associatively written as mi modulo 2 with mj into g. So if you want to generate a particular code word, for example, if you want to generate the code word for this particular value 010, then you can, suppose if this is the code word, if this is the corresponding code word for 010, then the linear sum of these two will produce this, then the linear sum of these two will produce this one, that is 011 and 001 will produce 010, and that will be multiplied with the generator matrix to produce the corresponding code word, which can also be made equivalent to the linear sum of the two code words Ci and Cj, and this property is called as the closure property. So always the encoder is located at the transmitter, so that the generator matrix will be present at the encoder of the transmitter. Based on that, the code words are being generated by the encoder, channel encoder present in the transmitter. At the same time, the receiver should also have the knowledge about the parity matrix, so that it can able to detect the original information transmitted by the transmitter, and it can able to identify the errors and it can correct the error. For that, we are going to use a parity check matrix or a Hamming matrix, which can be represented as I of n minus k, the combination of an identity matrix of size n minus k cross n minus k and the transpose of the parity matrix. The transpose of the parity matrix is consisting of size n minus k cross k, since the parity matrix is having the size of k cross n minus k. And if we multiply this Hamming matrix with the transpose of the generator matrix, then it can be represented as In minus k combined with P transpose, and if G can be represented as the combination of P and Ik. Ik is the identity matrix of size k cross k. The G transpose can be written as the combination in the column will be converted into combination in rows, so that Ik can be combined in the row perspective, and the parity matrix will become the transpose of the parity matrix, which is represented here, and the multiplication if you done on In minus k with P transpose produces P transpose, and the multiplication of P transpose with this I k again also produces P transpose, which are added with the help of modulo to sum, which is providing an equivalent of 0 matrix, because both are same. In modulo to addition, if same modulo to addition of same elements will provide 0, modulo addition of different elements will provide 1. So by using the commutative property of matrix, Hg transpose will be equal to G into H transpose, and that will be equal to 0. So C into H transpose can be written as M into G into H transpose, because C is equal to M into G. The code word C is represented as the product of the message vector and the generator matrix. So we already know that G into H transpose is equal to 0. So the product of 0 matrix along with the message vector will provide the value 0, which is effectively used by the receiver to identify whether the error has happened or not. If the C into H transpose is equal to 0, then it determines the error-free transmission. If C and H transpose is not equal to 0, then that condition is called as erroneous condition. Where there may be some error in the received code word. Let we assume the received code word as R, which consists of n number of bits and represented by a matrix or a vector of size 1 cross n, and code C is the transmitted code word of the same size 1 cross n, and the error vector can also be written as 1 cross n. If suppose I am transmitting a 6,3 linear block code and I am assuming that a code word 101100, then if this is the transmitted code word, if there will be some error in the third, second and the fifth locations, then the received word will be written as 1. Instead of 0, it will create the error as 1. That means instead of 0, it will be assumed as 1 is received. That is called as error. And all other remaining words are used as it is. So the error will be identified by adding C and R with the modulo operation. So E will be reduced as C modulo R. So 110, 011, 110, 110, 011 and 000. So by this way, we can say that the error has happened on the second position and on the fifth position from the MSB. So if the error pattern E is equal to C XOR R or otherwise modulo to sum of C and R, then the received code word will be C modulo to sum of E. And each of the entries of the error vector will be represented as E0, E1 up to En minus 1. And the entries of the error vectors will be replaced by 1 if the ith bit is having error. If it is not having error, then it will be replaced by 0. And if we assume that the syndrome is determined in such a way, S is equal to R into H transpose. If suppose the R is not having any error and R is equal to C, this condition will only occur when the error pattern is a zero matrix. Zero vector. When the error pattern is a zero vector, then R will be equal to C. If R is equal to C, S is equal to C into H transpose. And C, we already know that C into H transpose will be 0. So that we can ensure the error-free communication. If the error vector is not a zero vector, then R is equal to C XOR E, so that S is equal to C XOR E into H transpose, whereas C modulo H transpose, sorry, C into H transpose modulo to sum of E into H transpose, whereas C into H transpose will be equal to 0 and the syndrome will be represented as E into H transpose. By identifying the syndrome, we can able to identify where the error has happened. So this error pattern is going to be how? If suppose the syndrome will be simply represented by E into H transpose. If I am assuming 6,3 linear block code and the error pattern will be E0, E1, E2, E3, E4 and E5. And the H transpose will be of size, so we have to determine the size of H here. I is of n minus k cross n minus k and P transpose is of n minus k cross k, so that both are having n minus k number of rows and it is having n minus k plus k number of columns, so that the size of the Hamming matrix is n minus k cross k. And H transpose, the size of the H transpose is k cross n minus k, where k is the number of message bits. Sorry, n minus k. Sorry, this is n minus k cross n, so that H transpose will be n cross n minus k, where n is the number of bits in the code word. So it is having n number of rows. So the H transpose consists of n number of rows. Let I am assuming 0, 0th row, first row and up to n minus 1. So that it is having n number of rows. And this error is going to have the value 1 if the particular bit is having error. If it is not having the error, it will not be identified. It will be 0. So if the particular error value, if suppose if the first bit is error, it will be 1. E0 will be error, 1 will be replaced, 1 will replace E0 and all other elements will be replaced by zeros. So the first row of the Hamming H transpose will be the value of the syndrome. So the syndrome will be represented by, if the syndrome is represented by the first row of the matrix, then it is having, we can say that the error has happened on the first code word bit. Similarly, based on if suppose the syndrome is having the value which is equal to the second row of the H transpose, then it determines the second code word is having the error. By this way, the identification of the error location is taken place. There are two properties for the syndrome calculation. The first property has been deliberately explained in the previous slide. That is, if S is equal to R into H transpose, we know that R is equal to C modulo E and C into H transpose will become 0 and that will be E into H transpose. And the another property is that all error patterns that differ by a code word are having the same syndrome. So in the next session, we will discuss the tutorial problems on linear block codes.